program deals with Ramadan preparation mostly. And so this Ramadan will be very close to what we would call a normal Ramadan. We're going to have, food and prayer. And we'll have the Masjid open for all the 5 prayers. And we'll also have it open for itikaf at the end of the month. Hopefully won't nobody give me one of them $100 bills that I still got it. You remember that $100 bill?
I watched the whole exchange go down.
Yeah, that was.
I can see the whole thing happening at a distance over there.
Yeah, and you kind of knew what was happening.
I knew what was happening. You
Okay.
could tell how you kind of your
Yeah.
reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then I saw you take it back. I was like, okay, I see the brother try to slip him. He tried to slip me something.
No, it was a $100 bill. It was like, and he knows that I'm on the federal thing. Like, I mean, he's a nice guy. He spent the end of Ramadan, and he ate up all the food and of course, it's okay for him. And he was nice and friendly. But see, he was out of the federal penitentiary, and he knows that if I were to go to a bank or a store or anything with that thing, that you know what they're going to do. And the Secret Service is the most efficient brand in the government of the United States, not the FBI. The Secret Service to deal with money.
That's true. They do. That is their job. Yeah.
That's their job. I'm talking about, because like if you pass some money down the street, they be there on the spot. The questioning techniques and everything, and following up and snatching after the money. They have to be quick and efficient and effective. So if I would have took that in and I go to the bank the next day to put the money in the bank, well, there it goes. It didn't even look like real money. So I gave it back to him. Then he said, I want to give you some money. I just need some change for it. So I said, what you need back? He said, $35 or something like that, or $65 or something. So he gave it to me, and I got mad. I looked at that, and then I gave it back to him. Then I thought about it. I said, no. Give it back. And then I snatched it, I tore it. So I said, give me another one. The other one, the one that I have now, was just like, I said, this guy cannot be passing this stuff. Because you could see it over there, anywhere, 100 miles away. Anyway, just think about it now. The Ramadans, what we do with Ramadan, we're seeking the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from Ramadan. If people come in and eat and run or don't pray, that's up to them. We're prepared. We're laying out the platform, and that's what we're going to do. If it's 3 or 4 of us here eating, that's fine, no problem. That's what we'll do. We're going to do a Ramadan program, okay? And so that includes food and prayer. Now, our fundraising this time, we're going into another level of fundraising. We're developing a handout and one more DVD to go with what we have. And at night times and what have you, we're going to go out to the different masajid. So we're going to still pray Taraweeh here. Yeah. Or we may do 8 rakats and then leave and do the other 3 when we get back to our house or whatever we want to do. But we'll be watching the clock. Now, the way it runs is we I think I read it from the fiqh book to let everybody know that it's not a colored thing we're doing. That the earliest you could pray is not like an hour and a half after the Maghrib prayer. You could pray at an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, now that's what we'll pray at within an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll pray Aisha in an hour and 15 minutes, and then we'll, inshallah, uh, we'll, we'll have a feel for the times we're praying, and if it might be a couple of us go to a place, we don't have to have the whole, and we'll go, and we'll have a flyer, we'll have a DVD or two, and I'm writing it out now, so it'll be self-explanatory, and it'll hopefully touch the hearts of the people. The main thing is to let the people know we're not beggars. The other thing is to let the people know that, look, out of your zakatul fitr, the flyers that we pass out will have two ayats from the Quran. One of them will be outlined specifically. Yeah, this is 273 and 960. Those deal with, if I remember right, making zakat reach those who really, So, okay, we're going to outline in our flyer a little bit about who we are, what we're trying to do, and of course, we're not beggars, we're mujahids. That's the first thing. So now, technically, most people know that, but if we're passing them out at the Taraweeh prayer, after the Taraweeh prayer, we're going to be reaching a whole new group of people. So by the time it's over, we will have reached all the people around us. And in that flyer also, it will be instructing them what we want them to do. We don't want all of their, when we outline in Surah 9, Ayat 60, what zakat is for and who is for, they'll easily recognize us right in that, clearly. And so we want to develop a more respectful relationship with the people, okay? During Ramadan also, we might be able to get to the leadership at each place. Yeah, and let them know this is what we're doing. And we can let them know too, look, if you don't want us here, this is easier for you. Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to become organized well enough to aid and assist the Muslims right here in the United States. We're not thinking about just around the corner, but help the Muslims and speak on their behalf. They're not built for speaking on their own behalf. They won't do it. Okay. Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay. So we have to speak on their behalf and act on their behalf. But we want you to help us do this so we will speak on your behalf. We're going to stand up for you. We don't have to stand up for ourselves. We know how the whole thing is working, and it's not that we don't care, but we've learned to manipulate the system so well that it responds to us much more than we respond to it. But anyway, we want to do that, and that's fundraising includes maybe hitting the board of directors and visit, so we won't have some of the things that happened before, you know. And the idea, like it says here, we've stood for you. And yeah, we stood for you. And then, yeah, without your assistance, how do you think that, first of all, how do you think the Zionists feel about us, about As-Sabiqun here in the USA? It's kind of simple. See, because everybody in the area knows who we are already. The people that's been here, okay, they remember the demonstrations, they remember the heyday, what they would call the heyday of As-Sabiqun, black uniforms, da 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 da. Okay, that was surface stuff. Actually, I didn't care about doing that stuff at all. But that's the picture that the people had of Islamic movement, and that's the picture that some of the Negroes had. They were influenced by the Nation of Islam. So if the minister is coming up to speak, they walk up with him. That's what Abdul Malik was doing. And they'd have people standing. They would have the poor brothers at them long programs standing at the doorways and standing up, like sutra. I said, shoot, I don't need nobody. And the brothers' back would be hurting. I said, man, I ain't doing that. See, that impressed them. So they thought that this is what would impress the immigrants. For them, it was everything we show. Yeah, it was all theatrics. Okay, so I didn't. I'd stand up there by myself and talk. I say, ain't nothing happening here. Okay, so this idea, of course, had helped the anti-Zionist movement or counter-Zionist movement, but institutionalized Zakatul Fitr and Adha. Now, Adha is usually about 62 days after Fitr. So I'll go out to California after Eid al-Fitr and get things rolling out there. And it's a big question whether I might stay out there and do those or, get a little team for out there and hit out there, and the brothers could hit here, you know. But we would still have our little food preparation and stuff, and we'd. But anyway, yeah, we'll work that out. All right. Instruct the masses on how to aid and assist As-Sabiqun without contact. You see that? Without contact. It said institutionalize zakatul fitr, instruct masses on how to aid and assist As-Sabiqun without contact. Can you see that there? Oh, you know what? No, that's okay. If you.
I'm replying back to some of the messages that came through on Facebook Messenger.
Oh, okay. No. You don't have to. But that's. I just.
But I did read through I read through A through D.
Okay, so that's to do without. That we want to. We want to make it easy on the people, but we want to get maximum or a high level of benefit from their being in our area and us all being brothers and sisters. So it won't be necessary for some of the people, the less contact they have with us, the better. And believe it or not, we function better without them. Because we've gotten used to being by, so we want to set boss man up. If it's just us, we set boss man up and we be laughing at everything. But if it's people coming in and out and around, this is more, Jama'ah is Islam. We're not against it, but we know how to bait the hook and everything for boss man. Without the less help, technically the better. I'm just saying this. I believe we're farther in advance than anybody have ever been in U.S. history on the movement dealing with the government. And also, the government is in worse condition now than it's ever been in U.S. history. It's on the trajectory is headed downhill, and they insist on it. I mean,
Comments Biden gave yesterday.
huh?
The crazy comments came out the president's mouth yesterday, talking about regime change in China.
Yeah,
Not China, I'm sorry, in Russia.
in Russia, yeah.
I was like, what is this
No,
man?
no, no. It's excellent. He was talking about, yeah, almost. That's the way people was interpreting. We're gonna get rid of the guy. Okay, okay, that's no problem. He tried to walk back, but it was too late. It's no problem. Remember, just as a side statement, you got to remember we would always pause